Hello friends, I'm Dr. Poonam, a homeopathic physician. Welcome to my channel Harmony Homeo Healing Hub. I treat, he cures is my slogan. Let's proceed for the next video, that is circadian clock and our well-being part 2. How to synchronize body for better health. How to reset circadian cycle through homeopathy. In the last video, we discussed about the biological clock, biological rhythm, circadian rhythm, and its effects on the different hormones when it is disrupted due to mental stresses. That is why it is also called mental disordered rhythm. Now, in this video, we will be discussing about the bad effect of the disrupted rhythm. Now, the circadian rhythm and the body, different body functions rise and fall over a 24 hours period based on the circadian rhythm. Body temperature, cortisol and blood pressure rises in the daytime, whereas they decreases in the night time. Melatonin, growth hormone, testosterone and prolactin rises in the night time and decreased in the daytime. As we all know that melatonin is secreted at night and its production is influenced by light-dark cycles. For example, the brain. This inhibition enables the brain and body to maintain a state of wakefulness during the day, and its irregular production will produce uncontrollable sleep, dullness, laziness, and lethargy. The improper production of cortisol will disrupt the rhythm, and this disrupted rhythm will affect the brain, the autonomic nervous system, the heart, the vasculature, the cardiovascular system. So functions will be disturbed and behavior cycle will also be disturbed. Levels of cortisol, which normally increases during the day and decreases at night, will be disturbed. So cortisol usually becomes high, and it is usually found in people who experience jet lag on regular basis, such as flight attendants or pilots, nurses and doctors. Now, the factors which can alter the circadian rhythm. This we have already discussed in the last video. Disrupted circadian rhythm and its effects. When it is disrupted, the sleep is disorder occurs, jet lag shift workers, advanced delayed sleep disorder occur. And when sleep is disturbed, it will affect CNS, pancreas, muscles, adrenals, hemopoietic system, fibroblasts, vasculature, intestines, adipose tissue, and liver. And results into multiple diseases such as depression, hypoinsulinemia, then sarcopenia, chronic stress, autoimmunity, tumor genesis, thromboembolic events will result into hypertension or inflammatory diseases, or steatoria can also be there, obesity will be there, dyslipidemia, steatosis, metabolic syndrome, these kind of. Now the diseases which can appear because of the irregular rhythm are raised stress hormones such as cortisol, adrenaline, melatonin, etc. Then loss of energy, profound weakness, sleepiness, fatigue, increased sensitivity to pain, immunity will be lowered. When immunity is lowered, there will be possibility of inflammatory diseases, metabolic disorders, endocrinal disorders, psychiatric disorder, and neurodegenerative disorders. Now, the health conditions also affects the age. Acceleration in the maturity. Person will become more mature before the age. Emotional instability there will be there. There will be depression, anxiety, weak memory, lack of concentration, aversion to work, cardiovascular disorders, degenerative disorders. There can be possibility of formation of tumors, cysts, or cancers, obesity, infertility, bipolar disorders, and seasonal affective disorders. and certain others sleep disorder. Mentally, patient becomes so much dull that he will be unable to judge the risky situations, and his behavior will also change. He may underestimate or overestimate the situations. Now, the circadian rhythm sleep disorders. When there is misalignment between the person's sleep timeline and the physical social 24-hour environmental cycle, then sleep disorder occur. The prevalent disorders are advanced sleep, in which person sleeps before the time, before the sleeping time. He feels sleepy earlier in the evening and wakes up earlier in the morning. Similarly, opposite to it is delayed sleep phase. In the onset, later onset common in adolescent people, and advanced is more common in the elder people. Delayed phase syndrome, when circadian rhythm becomes delayed, people will fall asleep late and wake up late. Irregular sleep-wake disorder. There is lack of regular rhythm that leads to sleep and waking disruptions. This is found in people who are suffering from neurological disorders such as dementia, mental retardation, and brain damage. This disorder is characterized by excessively engaging in napping during day or night. Number one, no sleep pattern, difficulty in maintaining the hard sleep, gorginess when awake, and inability to maintain the amount of sleep needed for them. Shift work disorder occurs when people have early morning nights, rotating shifts that disturb the normal 24-hour cycle. And this is found in people who are doing the shift duties. And individual experience extreme fatigue, and there is greater risk of injuries at the workplace and cognitive impairment due to average 4 hours or less hour sleep per day. Now the another type is non-24-hour sleep-wake disorder, in which rhythm is not synchronized with 24-hour days, resulting in the sleepiness or insomnia. Insomnia of sleep, insomnia. So this table shows the different sections, like delayed sleep between 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the morning till noon. Advanced sleep may start from 6 p.m. and patient may wake up at around 2. Normal sleep cycle usually goes around 11 to 6-7 a.m. In the irregular sleep-wake rhythm, patient may sleep at any time or wake up at any time. There is not any particular regularity. Non-24-hour sleep-wake rhythm, person may sleep in the night hours, but it may ranges. Again, sometimes at 12 or 1 or 2, then wake up accordingly. And in this way, these sleep. Now, what will be the symptoms due to the sleep disorder? There will be difficulty in falling asleep, as I told you that insomnia can be there, haphazard sleeping pattern can be there, increased movements during the sleep, short sleep duration can be there, patient will wake up early, excessive or there can be excessive sleepiness, tiredness, fatigue, irritability, person will make more mistakes while working, irregular breathing patterns, experiencing of headaches or mental disorders. Snoring can be there, narcolepsy, sleep paralysis, sleep talking, restless leg syndrome, then sleep apnea. These are the when there is chronic sleep disruption. Because of the chronic sleep disruption, there will be elevated cortisol and adrenaline, cardiovascular stress, for physiological stress activation will be there. Physiologically, metabolic abnormalities, immune impairment, overall poor health, impaired memory, cognition. Emotionally, cognitive, physiological pathologies will arise. Psychologically, patient will have sleep loss and fatigue, anxiety, depression, increased worry, frustration, low self-esteem, difficulty coping with the daily life. Occupations such as flight attendants or pilots, nurses, and doctors, brain scan has been done, and memory performance test was also done on these people. What was found that increased cortisol level corresponds to the decreased temporal lobe size in these individuals, and there is suggesting a direct link between the physiological dysynchronization and decreased functionality of such as short-term memory. Although it may re-establish, if it is synchronization is re-established, then short-term memory may return to normal state. But if it is synchronization is not re-established, then conditions may get worsened. Now the jet lag, as our internal body clock also controls the alertness, hunger, digestion, urine production, body temperature, and the secretions of hormones. Because of the long distance transmeridian jet travels, these travelers normally experience there is melatonin secretion is immediately out of synchronization upon the arrival in the new time zone. So that is called as jet lag. Symptoms will include that extreme fatigue, sleep disturbances, loss of concentration, disorientation, malaise, sluggishness, gastrointestinal upset, and loss of appetite. So if person is having too frequent shifts in these circadian pattern, such as several transoceanic flights a month, that can lead to mental and physical fatigue. So shift worker when faces these problems, it will result into either high blood pressure or high lipids. Then melatonin synthesis abnormality will result into sleep wake cycle disturbances, and if high BP is there or adiposity is there, more of the lipids, increased inflammatory markers will be there. So cardiovascular disease may result, or when melatonin synthesis is disturbed, then neurological or mental health is affected, and when hormones are affected in the metabolism, then changes in the meals or timings are not right, correct. Person is not taking time or some eating some different food at the meal time, and changes in the meal turning timing and dietary habits will be there. So impaired glucose or lipid tolerance will be there. So metabolic syndrome or gastrointestinal. Even children are not spared from this sleep disorder. Children will develop certain different movements during the sleep which can show us that children are also affected. First is periodical limb movement disorders, such as then restless sleep disorder, sleep related epilepsy starting during the sleep, then benign sleep myoclonus due of infancy, head rolling will be there, then bruxism means grinding of teeth, head banging, sleepwalking, parasomnias, sleep terrors, and body rocking. Confusion, arousal can also be there because of the sleep disorders in children. Now, what to do? Tips how to manage. Now, the rules for of healthy sleep. One thing, person should sleep and wake at a particular fixed timing. Timing has to be fixed so that sleep cycle is maintained. One should relax before the bedtime, avoid the stressors before bedtime, such as crackers and all, and one should keep the electronics goods out of the bedroom. But this time it is not possible, but one can at least keep the gadgets away from their sleep bed. At least that this can be done. One should block out all the lights because light will increase the cortisol level and will make the alert, so melatonin will not secrete in the proper time, so one has to switch off the light. Now one should avoid the unwanted noise. If some noises are there, you can plug your ears with the cotton so that you can get the proper sleep. And one should, if you are not still sleeping, getting good sleep, then try some tea also, or herbal tea, or one should avoid the caffeine close to the bedtime. And you can do the meditations or yoga before the sleep. Now, the essential first is set up our sleep cycle. Sleep and wake up time should be at same hour. Avoid night watching. Sleep in the dark room. Room temperature should be neither too hot or not too chilled. Use loose clothing while sleeping. Avoid belt, tights, jeans. Do you use correct position of a pillow while sleeping? Comfortable beds should be there so that no disturbance in sleep. Bed should have good sleeping space. Pillows are to be kept according to the position. Thin when it is on back, when raised when you lie down on side, it means the spine has to be kept straight. In case of pains, accidents, surgeries, pregnancy, diseases, supportive pillows can be used. In case of bedridden patients, electric mattresses should be used to avoid the bed sores. Now, this is the correct position of the spine which should be kept. Correct position of the spine. That pillow has to be up to the mark so that your head should not be more raised or more low. It should be equal to the position of the spine. Yes. In the second picture, we can find out that head is raised. Similarly, in the third picture, head is also raised and the hip area is also tilted wrong. So both the lower positions are incorrect, and correct position is keeping the spine straight. Now the benefits of side sleeping. If we sleep on the side, it reduces the sleep apnea, sleep, no compression upon the spine, and better breathing. If we sleep on the stomach or the right side, then these kind of problems can arise. If we lie down on the abdomen, then it puts pressure on the muscles and joints. It places stress on the spine. Similarly, when we lie down on the right side, it may interfere with the blood flow of our heart, and heartburn can occur more frequently. Now, the needful for good sleep. We have to avoid bright lights and blue lights at least 2 hours before bed. So we have not to use the phones while before sleeping. See the morning light on waking. Spend half an hour outside the room. Take plenty of breaks while working on computers, because we have to give our body a relaxation. Walk around and avoid screen time. Avoid caffeine at bedtime. These tips may help to promote a healthful circadian rhythm, which includes scheduled regularity. If possible, go to the bed and wake up at same time each day. Setting a regular time, it will help the body set its rhythm around these times. Some choose a set a morning alarm to wake up at same time each day. This may help the body adjust and encourage tiredness when they need to sleep to wake up on time. This regular sleep wake schedule also include days off from work such as weekends. Tips which may help to promote a healthful circadian rhythm. One can take small naps in the early afternoons or avoid long naps in the later day, avoid heavy meals, avoid caffeine late in the day, or you can take some herbal teas, but with the consultation of the doctor, because some people may get allergic to certain herbs, and one has to be very cautious before taking anything, because health is more important than anything else. This is a chart when to take which type of meals. When from 5 a.m. till 12 noon, one can take fruits, herbs, water to help the body flushes and clean out the waste. From 12 noon to 3 p.m., vegetables at noon to replenish the cells and feed the body minerals, chlorophyll, melanin, and carbon. 3 to 8 in the evening, one should take more of solids food which can be eaten, but no eating after 8 p.m. That is very important. Late night food always disturb the circadian rhythm. This is a calorie restriction, intermittent fasting. These how they affect the SCN. SCN will when calorie restricted calories taken or intermittent fasting is done, then peripheral circadian rhythm is affected and hormones and metabolic pathways are active. Due to this activity, one has a good age and increased longevity of the life. Restricted feeding always helps for metabolic pathways and good hormone release that helps us to remain young, always young. Other tips can be one can perform the calming activities before the bed, such as reading or doing gentle stretches, meditation or yoga, or listen to relaxing music. And one another exercise which I always recommend in my clinic to the patients, that press your tragus of ear with index finger and listen to the sound of the ear for half an hour, at least half an hour. So this always gives the calmness, coolness to the mind, and people with the insomnia and depressions are getting very good results because of that. Then there are certain mudras which helps to improve the sleep. Surya Mudra, Matangi Mudra, Prana Mudra, Shakti Mudra and Gyan Mudra. Picture as being given, one can practice accordingly. This slide predicts the different poses of yoga. As we all know, yoga is a very ancient time exercise and it had always been helping in every manner. But the most important thing is that it should be done in front of instructor, because if we do it ourselves, then we may not know that we are actually doing the right pose or not. So it is very important. If we are doing the yoga in a wrong way, that can also result into the more problems. And so these exercises are going to set right the circadian cycle. Gadgets our addiction is very much increasing in kids. We can see children of 1.5 years are also attracted to the screen, as they are always attracted with the light. So there are very good, very big instances in which kids are very badly affected mentally as well as physically. No interest in the other activities. Child only wants to sit aside and use the phone, and poor ability to interact with people, delayed speech development, irritability, aggression is there, and children do not entertain anybody who, even if some guests are there, they do not want to talk to them. So always a very bad impact on people. Now what to do? We have to restrict the screen time, get physically involved with the children, play with them, encourage physical activity, try to avoid the use of devices in the bedrooms, no gadgets to the kid, even no buying for the kids. And medically, children are developing back and spine problem, wrong postures, spinal diseases are there. Mentally, children are getting epilepsy, or there are mental schizophrenic, or they do not talk to them, they become depressed, anxieties are there, delusions are there. I have got a case in which patient of 10 years old child, he has been watching the TV and YouTube and all, and he has developed delusions, hallucinations. So these are the diseases which usually children develop, and they are not that much mature to see the YouTubes and all. So they can make their own imagination. Because of their imagination, they can fall very sick and they can be phobic many of the times. So there, I've seen many patients are there for lack of sleep. Children are getting not good sleep. Eyesight is also getting weaker. In Delhi, there has been a research done on children below 3 years who are using the gadgets. So the speed of weakness of the vision is very much increasing because of the overuse of the gadgets. And when there is no physical activity, child keeps on sitting, digestion problem, obesity problem, and other immunity, low immunity is there. Children are getting more and more diseases. So one has to avoid the gadgets. Even the adults also, it is not only that kids are to, all kids has to do this, but adults are also getting many problems such as spinal, cervical, lumbar, mentally, depression, anxiety, and even the disturbances in the relationships are also there, because one person, if using two, there are two-person in the family and one is using phone, the other is not getting the attention, so depressions and other problems are also there. Now the guidelines for the travelers, frequent travelers are often, they often develop many problems. So during, what they have to do to because job has to be done, this is the basic need of the life. So what they can do when they are traveling from, during the westbound flights, they have effect on the lengthening of the day. Nap should be avoided. In contrast, when they are flying eastbound, the effect of shortening of the day, sleeping during the flight is encouraged. So in addition, daytime flights cause the least loss of sleep and least fatigue, allowing the traveler to arrive in the best possible condition. What others they can do, they can take the meals and they can sleep in appropriate time, and they should spend their time in outdoors during the day. And while the flying, consumption of alcohol and caffeine should be avoided because that always interfere with the sleep. And traveler should accept that they are bound to be some loss of performance while first arriving in the new time zone, and should plan accordingly. For example, one should avoid important business meetings for the first 24 hours after the arrival. Now, when to contact a doctor? Anyone who is regularly experiencing a sleep disruptions or feel their circadian rhythm is not good, they should contact the doctor. Poor quality of sleep always leads to health complications such as we are many people are coming with the hypertension, diabetes, heart attacks, sleep apnea, obesity, stroke, depression, anxiety, psychosis. So one has to contact to the bright light therapy is also used to treat the circadian rhythm sleep disorders. Now, this is the table which predicts that at which time what we have to do. It is very important. From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., bowel movements are increased, large intestine is active, melatonin secretion is stopped. So one has to wake up and release the bowel between this time. If the person is not releasing the bowels at this time, then the contents of the bowl, the fluid of the bowl is reabsorbed into the intestine and circulation again. So that will produce the many of the diseases. From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., stomach becomes active. One should have the breakfast, walk and digest. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., high alertness, spleen is active. So this is the best time for best concentration. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., heart activity is increased, person becomes more energetic, best coordination. One has to take Energy meals, that is salads, fruits, 20 minutes before the main meal, and take main meal of the day, that is lunch, and after that one has to walk. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., small intestine is active, food is absorbed, short nap can work, or otherwise it can also be avoided according to the circumstances. Then efficient cardiovascular strength becomes active from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So this is the best time to work. Now from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. evening time, one, it is also called as supper time, when blood pressure rises and nutrients are stored, kidneys become active, bone marrow is being built. So one has to take evening meals, which is also called as supper time, and exercise has to be done at this time. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. body temperature rises, pericardium becomes active, self-care, massaging, light exercise, relaxation has to be, will be helpful. Now 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. time is called as triple burner time, because when at this time melatonin secretion starts, endocrine and metabolic activities is increased. So socialization, calmness will help to rebuild the circadian cycle, reset the circadian cycle. From 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., low bowel movements, bladder become active, bile is released, and cellular repair and blood cells are produced at this time. This is a very important time when body heals up, when body is repairing the injured part of the body. So it is very important. Deep sleep is required for this. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. deep sleep, low body temperature, liver is active, liver and blood detoxification occurs during this time. So rest and recovery time is also called, this time period is called rest and recovery time. From 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. blood pressure rises, lungs are active, dreams and memory becomes more active, and lung detoxification occurs. So this slide predicts the different timings when to take heavy meals, when to metabolism occurs, when to socialize, and when to read, when to sleep. The whole of the cycle body. This is biological clock which tells us to, from the morning till the night, how to set right our body, how to make the circadian cycle. Now, how to set right the circadian cycle with the help of homeopathy? Homeopathy works on the individualization of the person. It can treat the diseases considering the baseline root cause and its effect. Why? Because homeopathic medicines are proved on the healthy human beings, and studies has been done on every age group and both sexes under the different situations. If the person is working day and night without any break, or he is helpless, he is being dominated by the boss, or he is has to achieve some targets, because of the targets they are getting anxious, depressed, or some people, they are into schizophrenic state, or they are not getting sleep at all because of the fears, because of the phobias. All these types of the diseases can be taken care with the help of homeopathic medicine. When you are sleepless because of anxiety, worry, examination fear, stage fear, vivas, interviews, family discord, persistent thought, delusions, hallucinations, disappointment at work, or disappointment in love, deception, losing your nears and dears one, mental shocks, loss, financial or manual, and many other stresses. All the stresses can be, we cannot change the situations, but at least we can make the person that much resistant or immune or strong, so that they can easily tackle the situations without any ailments. I can quote an example that one of my patients, she is working in a private company where she is not getting help from her juniors. She has to work of her own, and from the seniors she has to listen many of the comments, that your department is not working in a very nice way. She used to get irritated and angry because of all that situations, but she could not express her feelings. Medicine were given, then she told herself that now I can tackle the situation with calmness and coolness. So this way we can treat the person with homeopathic medicine. And because of the anger, because of the stress, as I have already explained in my lecture, that these things always affect the circadian rhythm. So her circadian rhythm has become normal now. She is enjoying. So in this way, if you go to a homeopathic doctor, all the bad effect of circadian rhythm which are affecting you, and all the causes which are making your circadian rhythm disturbed, homeopathy can help. Homeopathy can help. A good health is a best wealth. So, for I will always advise, be regular, be scheduled, and enjoy your health, enjoy your wealth. Good night. Thank you very much.